Very good morning to all of you. Delighted to visit your place once again. As you know, my name is Professor Tissa Wijiratne, neurologist from Melbourne, Australia. Please mark your diary for 2nd of November as we will be doing our annual brain health walk again from usual place, Treasury Gardens, Melbourne. More detail later. Today, I thought I would talk about a person that I ended up seeing a few weeks back. Let's call this gentleman Sam. Sam is, let's say, about 54 years of age. He is right-handed, married with 2 children, 2 very well grown-up children. So he came to me with about 4 years of symptoms that had been affecting him, in particular his right leg. He was telling me that over the last couple of years, gradually, but not in a sort of a progressive way, he was experiencing funny sensation in his right leg, specifically when he exercised. He described this sensation as sort of a pulling sensation in his right leg all along, and also some sort of a weird sensation on inner aspect of the thigh quite close to his groin. Not associated with severe pain. He does describe mild discomfort, which he described as sometimes 1 out of 10 sort of severity, not every day. He was also telling me that occasionally when he is engaged in heavy exercise, specifically when he is holding on to something in high up, he would experience tingling, shooting sensation going across his left leg from the back of the leg to the feet, including little toe. So when I examined him, I was able to see that his right leg is very slightly, fractionally smaller, whereas there was no other visible abnormality as such, and rest of the other usual neurological examination was normal. We did proceed with a MRI scan of his back, in particular thoracic part of the back, which is sort of not the top part of the back, not the bottom part, but the mid part. And we did find an abnormality, which is a cystic structure in the sort of a middle, sort of a lower part or the end of the spinal cord, but towards the sort of middle part. And this particular cyst, as you can see from the TV screen, appears quite white. This basically tells us that this is normal fluid that is covering this gentleman's spinal cord. Most likely he had this throughout his life. We did look at this picture with multiple specialists. We normally describe this as a case conference in brain disorders or neurological disorders. So the idea is to discuss the best possible explanation for what we are seeing as a group of experts, to use multiple brains to put our thoughts together. So the combined or the consensus opinion was that this is a cyst, in other words fluid filled area. Didn't look like anything sinister or nasty, but it appeared to be that it is putting pressure on some of the electrical wires coming from the end of the spinal cord to the right leg. So you might wonder whether the symptoms that Sam was explaining could be explained by what we were seeing on the spinal cord MRI scan. My personal feeling is most likely yes. So what we are planning to do is we are going to refer him to a neurosurgical colleague or friend of ours from a different public hospital, and to get their team to look at these pictures also, and then to have a further discussion about the way forward. So we might decide to watch and wait. In other words, keep watching and probably repeating the pictures of the back on an annual basis or biannual basis, or we might decide to decompress the fluid filled area. Decompress in the sense removing the extra fluid. So the idea of sharing this story without giving identifiable detail to you is to explain a neurological disorder that could come under the category of people born with neurological conditions. Obviously, this particular gentleman did not have any symptoms from this cyst for the first maybe 51 years of his life, but later on, probably with the pressure that is accumulating from this fluid filled structure, putting on the additional nerves, probably contributing to some of the symptoms that he had been experiencing. So, just to go over the way that we get sick with neurological system or brain health can be categorized into two different parts. We talked about overall brain health in previous segments. We talked about the central nervous system, which is the brain and the spinal cord, and then we discuss about the peripheral nerves, which are the electrical wires that are coming from the neck and the lower back going into your legs and arms, tummy and chest also. So they are part of the peripheral nervous system. It's very much like let's take Australia. We have a central government, the federal government, then we have state government and our councils. So your central nervous system is like your federal government, prime minister and the cabinet, and perhaps even the opposition. And then your state government and councils are the peripheral nervous system. So today what we discuss is a central nervous system disorder that a particular person most likely born with, and then likely contributing to some of the symptoms. Some neurological disorders we can watch and wait. Some neurological disorders we do need to intervene. Some neurological disorders are complex. So those complex disorders we need to put a lot of heads together to make sure that we make the best possible decision to the person in front of us. I hope the brain health segment today is of some use. Remember that brain health is the most supreme wealth, and at present human brain health is at a crossroad, as almost 1 in 3 of us are having a brain disorder. That's why on 2nd of November we are going to gather in Melbourne City to promote brain health for all ages and work in partnership with Migraine Foundation, Australian Institute of Migraine, Asian Regional Consortium of Headache, and many other organizations, and of course your very own Sri Lanka Morning Show team also. So we look forward to visiting your beautiful house next Sunday to talk about another brain health related topic. Until then, have a wonderful week. Take care. Remember, love your brain, protect your brain, and look after your brain. If we don't have a functioning brain, there's not much point having other functioning organs, as you could guess very easily. Take care.